Welcome to the third episode of the Out of Lane podcast. I'm your co-host Avery.
And I'm your other co host, Eric. And today we're going to talk about our traveling experiences and just kind of see what stories we've got.
So Eric, how much traveling experience do you have?
I have not a ton out of country, but a decent amount in country. I've spent a lot of time on the East and Midwest, and barely any time on the West Coast. But what about you?
Personally, I have a lot of, I would say, more international experience than anywhere in the states. Like my family, like we did a lot of road trips for like Wisconsin and like Tennessee and you know nearby states, kind of. I do remember like going to Florida, but a lot of my traveling is done like more going to and from the Philippines when we would go to visit family or go to funerals, which may sound a
Makes
little
sense.
a little morbid, but we yeah, people die out there, so we gotta go visit every once in a while.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's how it goes. I'm the same way, but instead it's for me it's Pennsylvania. But we used to do so grew up in Illinois, and we would drive to Pennsylvania in one day, which is a nice 13-hour long drive. That was what we'd do like once a year or so, or once every other year when I was younger. It's just this long 13-hour straight drive, no hotels or anything.
Just sleeping in the car.
No, we didn't sleep. We just drove, and when we got there, we slept.
Oh, you guys legit drove 13 straight hours.
Yeah, my parents would rotate. My dad would drive most of it, and it would be sometimes 12 hours because my dad has a lead foot.
Oh, I see. He's trying to cut down the gas mileage on that. He's trying to get there quick as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, uh, uh, what you make up in fuel cost, you lose in speeding ticket cost.
Have you guys actually got pulled over during your Pennsylvania trips?
I believe so. Yeah, actually, on the way there, we've also been pulled over. I think there was yeah, we went on a road trip. We went to Pennsylvania, and then we went down the East Coast, and then down. Uh, this this we went through several states. We went down the East Coast. We went then west, and then back right up to Illinois. So basically, a nice square around
Yeah, yeah.
the mid and East Coast. And what's it called? Uh, I think I remember my dad getting pulled over when he got off the highway to get gas.
How fast is he going to get off the exit? Like, is he going like 80 drifting around the bend? Like, what's happening there?
No, it was like a middle of nowhere town or something where there was just a gas pump basically and a long stretch of road, and he just like maintained highway speeds but on the actual road to the gas station, which was like a
Ah,
fourth of a mile from the turn.
I see. He,
And
he
he
he was Fast and the Furious down the entire straight. He was like, "We got to get
oh
there
yeah.
quick. If I let off the gas pedal, we're not gonna make it."
Yeah, he fully sent it.
I
and
respect
and he
that. I
got pulled
respect
over.
that.
Um but yeah, I don't think he actually got a ticket for it though. I think they let him off.
Okay, wait.
'Cause
Well, I mean, I guess if it's backcountry and it's just like some guy going fast, maybe.
yeah, there's no other cars around, that kind of stuff, and it's so easy when you get off the highway to forget that you need to adjust your speed for the first like little bit. So I think I remember them letting him off um, after berating him. Um,
Endangering you, your sister, your mother, like.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know my dad's also gotten two speeding tickets or gotten pulled over twice in rapid succession before, like 5 minutes apart, when he was bringing my brother back from college, I think. So
Five
yeah, my
minutes.
dad has a history.
Was it the same officer following him?
No, I think the first one let him off, so the second one didn't realize it, and then I think he got a ticket for that, unsurprisingly,
It's like, wait, didn't we
or
just see
vice
you five
versa.
minutes ago? Like,
Yeah, actually, now I think of it, it might have been that he got a ticket, and then the other one was like, "You poor bastard," and let him go.
he's definitely not learning his lesson.
No, well, the thing is, like, you save so many hours in your life speeding, like it's like $100.
How much is your time, huh? How about $100 worth?
Yeah, exactly. It's so not. Have you ever been pulled over?
No, I'm very happy to say I've never been pulled over, but I have been approached by police for counterfeiting. Okay, wait.
Wait, what?
I wasn't the one counterfeiting. Okay, I just happened to be involved
Okay.
with the case, and I
Uh,
don't worry about it. Listen, I just happened to be there and dealing with counterfeit money. I was not the one dealing with it itself.
can your choice of vagueness here is both understandable and making it so much worse.
I was not the one getting arrested that day. I promise you that much.
Okay,
Okay.
but were you the one spending the money?
No. I was dealing with the money, but not dealing the money. If that makes sense.
Like you were handed it in a job or something? I'm
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
probing. I'm curious.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that. But I have never been
Okay.
pulled over, and I'm happy to say I
Okay.
haven't.
All right. Well, we'll take it as you ran a lemonade stand as a child and somebody gave you a counterfeit quarter. That's my headcanon. I'm sticking with it.
But
You're like, this is one of those plastic quarters from the kids' toys thing. I
listen,
lost money.
I wasn't in trouble for the most part, but I was fine. I was fine. It was fine. It was fine. I had to give my ID. I
Oh,
had to give information. I was good though.
that's fair. That's fair.
That can come up another day, but today's not that story.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, but in terms
Yeah.
of pullover, I've never been pulled over in my life, and I'm very happy to say that. But you
Yeah.
though,
Me. Well, one time, but not for speeding.
yeah, for something a
So
little worse. I feel like
no, it's not worse. I've only ever been pulled over once.
okay,
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it.
yeah. So I'll tell the story. So so we did chess club in high school, but when we were in college, Avery, JC, who's our friend, and I like went to visit the chess club and like play games and whatnot. Went on like a break or something. And it was late at night, and I drove them back to their place, and then was driving back. And so what you have to know is the car. When I was at college, there had been a car accident. So the previous car I'd been using was totaled, and insurance we got a new one to replace it. Um, so I'd never used this car. The old one used to have its headlights turn on at a certain brightness, but this one didn't. So I was driving down a very well lit road, very populous, with like lights over it. Um, Driving back, and I start seeing like sirens behind me, and I'm like, "What's up with that?" So I pull in, and then he pulls in with me. I'm like, "Okay, he is with me," and the dude has like spotlights pointed at me, like my eyes are burning. And so I like pull over, and he comes to the window with the spotlights still blaring on me. And he's like, "Do you know why I pulled you over here today?" And I'm like, honestly, not sure. I'm sorry." And he's like, um, uh, he's like, Where did you come from?" And I'm like, I'm sitting there like I just dropped off friends, and then it clicks in my brain. I'm like, but I was just at a chess club thing, and that's like the perfect thing to be like, oh yeah, this guy's like a good enough guy or whatever. Like there's a bias towards people who like do academic-y stuff to be like, oh yeah, that's I'll let him off. He's a good kid who messed up or something. So I was like, oh yeah, we were at a chess club. He was like, oh okay. And he was like, yeah, I pulled you over because you didn't have your brights on. And I was like, it was dead silent for a good 5 seconds, and I look forward, and I look at the wheel, and then I flip a switch, and then the brights pop on, and I just say, "Huh." And I think it was at that moment, between all of that interaction, the cop was like, "Okay, this dude's just an idiot. We're good." And he let me go.
the story that I was expecting you to tell was the Adam story.
The Adams story?
You were we were at your place, I'm pretty sure we were hanging out, and Adam took some pills, Benadryl, and you got pulled over for having him in your car. Or you were speeding, and the police cop came over and saw this like young man just like sedated in your back seat.
I don't think this was me
Was this
because I
JC?
don't think this must have been JC because I this is not one. I've never been pulled over for speeding, and two, not that I don't speed, but I've just never been pulled over for it. I've never been caught. Um, but he also I don't think I've ever been in the car with him. Actually, no, I've been in a car with Adam when he was definitely like he had allergies to the cats
That was it.
in
That
my
was
house,
it.
I think. But this was not me driving. This must have been JC on like
What?
you guys were hanging out and then JC, you and him drove back or something.
I could have sworn it was you.
No, it wasn't me. I didn't get pulled over for speeding at any point.
Damn. I thought you were the
What
reckless one.
story though?
Oh, for JC. Apparently,
Yeah,
it
what
went
happened?
down. Was that I guess it was JC then. Adam took. He was having an allergic reaction to your cats at your place, so we gave him
Uh-huh.
Benadryl, and then he got drowsy because of the medicine, and then JC took him home. But apparently, on the way home, JC must have been speeding or something because he got pulled over by the cops, and he had to explain why his friend was like knocked the fuck out and had to prove it wasn't drugs when it was JC about drugs.
Oh no.
So they okay, a little more context. JC is he dabbles in the mind altering substances in the world, okay? He's not like an addict. Okay, that sounds kind of bad. He does him. He does them openly. We know he does it, and he does it safely enough that we don't feel too like danger around him or anything like that. But it's enough that when a police officer comes up to him and there's a guy in his our friends in the back seat kind of knocked the fuck out and just like not able to be present, it looks kind of bad. And it was in his car, so there's definitely something in there. um but luckily they didn't get arrested, so I think they're okay at the end of the night.
That yeah, I mean that's good. Fortunately, I mean if knowing JC, if they had like did a quote unquote like random search, he'd probably have some weed in the seat, and I don't think it was probably legal around that time.
He had the modified Obama.
The
There was
classic.
we were on we had a gaming session with JC a while ago, and he was telling us how he had modified Obama. Apparently, it's like a strain of marijuana, and we didn't believe him that it was such a thing. We thought he was just making shit up until he showed a picture of a baggie that had. We knew it was real because of this baggie because it had
Yeah.
Sharpie on it, and it wasn't just like fresh Sharpie. It was the type of Sharpie where you leave it on plastic and it's like fading away. We knew it like it was definitely like there for a while.
Yeah, yeah. There's more legit than like a pint bag with like weed stored in it that has Sharpie written on it. Like that's the signs that it has to be real, because I think that's what everybody. I think that's like the more popular weed becomes, I think their sales go up.
Yeah, dude, wheat stock is a thing, and weirdly enough, my mom is actually in not into it, but has bought into it though.
I mean, it's kind of the big brain move, to be honest, because I mean, as people like don't worry that they're gonna get narked on for buying legal weed,
It's so worth it.
or like think it's high enough quality, like people are gonna keep buying more and more, and then like the stocks will go up. It just stonks,
Stonks. I did.
stonks.
Don't play the stock market, kids. It's so. I mean, you should definitely invest a little bit, but like, be careful with it. I'm actually up like I think almost $200. So we good.
Okay, but what percentage is that
uh,
of your total investment?
20%. No, yeah, but it's
Oh,
about
that's
that's
good.
it's really good actually.
You put in a grand?
Yeah,
Damn, that's actually really good. I was prepared for it to be like, oh yeah, that's like 1%, and I'm like, okay, well, but no, 20%. That's respectable.
It's getting up there. I've invested well and very riskily in tech and medicine. So
People can't afford insulin, but I'm getting rich.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I've invested money into AI companies, and I have invested into like other medical groups.
If it's mildly amoral, it's in his stock portfolio. Let's go,
Dude, I'm
boys.
100% aggressive right now on my stock. Dude, I also have like a Roth IRA. I have a regular IRA and everything. Like, bro, I'm getting myself ready for when I'm 50.
I mean, it's good to invest early because compound interest, etc., etc.
I
Blah
got
blah
this.
blah, finance shit,
Well, I'm making
numbers.
bank, bro. Slowly, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, man. That 20%, man. You can buy Disney World tickets.
No, I'm actually my brother-in-law works at Hulu, and
Yeah.
he said, okay, the one thing I hate, I should have gone visit them when COVID was still like high and prevalent, because because he worked at Hulu, he was working on the Disney Plus also,
Mhm,
like the interface. I think he was like more on the front page actually, like doing the sign up, like sign in login page, and
mhm.
because he worked on that team, they were able to get like annual passes to Disney World in California.
Oh,
Disneyland, Disney World. I don't know which one is which, but whatever is in
I don't
California,
either.
they.
Yeah, yeah.
So my brother, when I went to visit my brother in California for the first time, since he moved out there, um, I asked him to take me to Universal Studios because I wanted to get the Harry Potter ride. I wanted to get like a wand, a cloak. I'm a really big Harry Potter fan, so like I really wanted to get that stuff. But I should have gone to Disney World when I had the chance there, because no one went. It was closed, but like I should have gone to a time when it was like still like freshly open and no one was going. Oh my god, bro!
And
I
then
should
got
have
COVID.
gone.
You wanted to have it be 4 instead of 3 times for you getting COVID?
Dude, listen, I'm cracked out of my mind, man. I'm part Chinese, okay? Listen, it's like in my blood. Like I will survive this shit. I promise.
Oh no,
Don't listen. I've gotten COVID 3 times.
you have.
It's not because I'm anti-mask or anti-vax. I'm fully vaxxed and I got the booster shots and all that stuff. It's just that,
He's just unlucky.
yeah. Also, it doesn't help when your entire family works in healthcare
Oh yeah,
and they have to like, you know, help patients because that's their job. So
yeah, that too.
my sister is a nurse, my brother's a nurse, my aunt's a nurse, my mom works as like a dialysis technician for like people with liver um,
Oh
issues. Um, so it's very like likely that they were gonna get COVID, and
yeah,
it's not because we don't believe in medicine. It's more of the fact that it's their job to help people. Therefore, they're gonna get it at some point.
yeah. There's a reason why what was it? There was so much stuff with the nurses during the pandemic. The like New York people screaming out the window, like, "Yeah, we support nurses, but also we're not paying you more."
Yeah, yeah. It was a very weird time because people were dying and people were quitting because people were dying and they didn't want to get sick, and then they weren't getting paid more. Instead, they got discounts at stores, and then they got free food. And I'm like, cool. The compensation would be nice though for my family.
Yeah,
my
like, come on, guys.
I don't know. It's so fucked up. But like, I should have gone to Disney World when I had the chance. Ah, fuck man.
Yeah, man. Instead, you went to dinner with your aunt and and got sick that one time. You remembered correctly.
I legit we went to get pizza because I came back home for winter break. I don't know why. Every single time I go back home from college, I always get fucking sick, man. It's so scuffed up. I had to miss Christmas because I got COVID, and
Oh,
I went to get pizza with my aunt to like spend time with her, and then she was telling me like the day before, she was like, Avery, I'm not feeling well. Like I don't know. I'm but we're still gonna get pizza, and I'm like, it's fine. Just don't go if you don't feel well. We can just go another day. She's like, no, I want to spend time with you. I'm like, okay. I should have forced her not to go because Oh my god, man. We were eating and I could tell she was like sick. And then we
Oh,
shared a pizza together. These were family and I'm like, I don't mind this at all. But I was like, I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna get COVID, aren't I? I woke up the next day, I got COVID.
oh no, that sucks. But yeah, that's yeah, I remember that happening. I just remember getting on a Discord call with you, like, yeah, I'm gonna go grab food with my aunt now, and then like a week later, you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have gone to grab food with my aunt.
I miss Christmas, man. My brother came in from town and also all that, and I'm like,
Ah,
we
that's
locked the door. Like, oh my god, we it was so bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, kids, don't get COVID. I mean, we're kind of past this now, but like, stay safe out there.
Yeah, you can still get it. You can still get it. I got it over winter break, I think it was, and gave it to my whole family.
How'd you do that?
Uh, mistakes were made. I was feeling mildly under the weather at the end of the quarter, but I didn't think it was COVID. And I took a flight back. I basically like with the timing because my schedule was super cramped because my program is ridiculous for time consumption. At least in fall quarter especially. Um, I did not have, or this was spring quarter, wasn't it? So spring break actually. But yeah, I did not have time to. I basically had time to get a COVID test and miss the flight, or go get a flight and hope that it's not COVID. And then when I got home, I at some point I was just kind of sick, and then at some point my mom got a bit under the weather and she got a COVID test, and then it came positive, and I was like, "Fuck."
Wow, Eric, some son you are. What the fuck? At least my aunts and parents give me COVID. I don't give them COVID.
Yeah, that's true. I
That's
don't
kind of
know who
fucked
the
up.
hell. I don't know how I got it though. I don't know the number of times I've gotten myself tested and then didn't have it, and I thought I did. I was just like, this doesn't seem as wild as the things I've had when I've gotten tested. So I'm just not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna hope it's fine. And then it was that time it was actually COVID.
Did they on the flight? Didn't they ask if you were experiencing symptoms? Did you just lie on that like survey?
They didn't. It was too late in this thing. This was only this spring break. It's like they don't ask that anymore.
Oh, it was this spring break. I thought
Yeah, it
okay.
was this spring break. Yeah. I said
Wow.
winter, but I remember it was actually on spring. Now I think of it because it was only the week I was gone.
Okay, I'll be honest because when I was going to visit my brother in California, they asked stuff like that. Obviously, like, are you experiencing any symptoms? Are you like in the past 14 days? All that stuff, right? The
Mhm.
but the weird thing is that when I got my flight to California, this was in like 2020 or 2021, one of the two. I think 2020.
Mhm.
And the thing is, the flights are supposed to be spaced out where it's like there's like one seat in between you and the other person, right? So it should be person, middle seat, and then person, and then in the aisle it should be person, middle seat, person, right?
Wait,
Um,
that was their social distancing?
yeah, that was their social distancing.
That's so not effective.
Yeah, yeah. And guess what? I get on the flight, and there are three fucking people in like the seat in the row, and it was person, person, person instead of person, seat, person.
Mm.
Oh my god! And the worst part is that I got onto my flight. I got my seat. I'm looking at my thing. There is a woman already sitting in my seat. And I show her like, hey, that's my seat. She gets up and moves over to back to her friend, and then oh my god, this is so BM of me. I out of my backpack, I pulled out sanitizing wipes, and I wiped the seat off in front of them.
What was their facial expression?
they're like, they're like okay, but also understandable. But I'm like, yeah, fuck you, bro. Like you sat here.
This is a pandemic. I don't want your
What'd you
sweaty
expect,
COVID
man?
ass.
Listen, I was excited to see my brother, but I didn't want to get COVID before I got there. Um,
Uh,
but
that's
that LA trip was so fucked up though. I won't lie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's I would not want to be in a flight during the brunt of the pandemic.
It was crazy. People were vibing and shit, bro. People were not wearing masks. No one gave a fuck. I'll be honest. LA people
Yeah.
kind of go crazy. My first night there, I almost got robbed.
Is this the standing in line story, or what is the
Oh, dude,
story?
this is the homeless guy who almost robbed the shit out of us.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. This is the travel episode. Go for it.
um, so my first day in California was spent with like mainly me and my brother just traveling around to his favorite spots. We went to like a matcha ice cream place where everything was just matcha, like latte, coffee, ice cream, whatever, right? All matcha. We enjoyed that.
Mhm.
Went to like a Japanese restaurant. We got some food for me, my brother, and his husband, and then at the end of the night, me and my brother went out again to get like some Japanese crepes, and
Mm.
we went to some part of I think they lived in like East Hollywood ish. They there was this like one place that was really good for them. They always like a snack bar. Like at the end of their night, they would go here, and so my brother took me there. And but the thing about this street is that there's like no, for some reason, very little like street light, and it's just coming from the buildings. And from my recollection, there weren't a lot of like street lamps. So it was like pretty dark, you know.
Uh-huh.
We pull over to the side of the road across of the restaurant, and as we are like getting our stuff to get out of the car, we notice there's this one guy outside of it, like on the sidewalk, just kind of acting a little like twitchy, like he's like jolting around, his head is like kicking. And as we exit the car and we hear him, he like starts yelling. He's like, "Hey, oi, what about you, huh?" And we are like looking at each other. We're like, "I just don't worry about it. Just don't make eye contact. Just pretend he's not there. You know, we good." And
Uh-huh.
as me and my brother are like shoulder to shoulder about to cross the street to the stand, um, he yells out to us. He's like, "So you're not giving me money, huh? Is that what it is?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not gonna. I'll keep pretending." We kept walking, and I swear to God, as we get to the other side of the street, he yells this out, bro. He out loud. He goes, "Allahu Akbar." I'm like, "Oh my God, we are
Ooh.
going to die." I swear to God, man. Like this guy is so cracked out. Um, and this is like
Yeah.
height of COVID. Everyone is wearing a mask. This guy is just coughing, no mask at all. He's spitting on the floor. He is just like crackhead energy. And I'm like, you know what? I respect it, but not tonight. Just not tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We go over. We place our food down. We place our order down. We have to wait a bit in line. They're making it fresh, so it's like taking a while, right? But as we're waiting in line, we're just talking or catching up a bit. The guy across the street keeps like hollering at people, keeps like coughing, keeps spitting, and he's just like out of his mind, crazy, right? And
Hmm.
I swear to God, 15 minutes pass by. Um, our order is almost ready, and me and my brother look at each other, and it came to a realization: he's not just like standing at the spot he was in before. He's like looking into our car, and he's looking at the license plates, and he's like looking around like as if he's trying to find something. And the thing is, my brother left his phone in the car, and
Hmm.
we had a feeling that like he's like might trying to rob us, something like this. It got worse because he pulled out a phone, and we thought he was calling his friends to come and like get ready to jump us.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
So my brother is getting like kind of nervous. I can kind of see it on his face. He's not like someone who's like confrontational. He definitely is not the type of person to, you know, get into a fist fight. But I legit told to my brother, I said, "Peter, listen here right now. If it comes down to it, just know I got you." And he looks at me. He's like, "Avery, what do you mean?" I'm like, it trust me, I got you, bro. He's like, "We're not fighting him." I'm like, "Listen, I get that, but like, if it comes down to it, I'm not gonna leave you on the side of the street." And he's like, "Okay, we'll think of something else." Um, and we're slowly trying to come up with like, different plans. Like maybe one of us should just run to the straight of the car. I should go to the passage, like go in the back seat on the side of the street, right, away from him. And as we're coming up with the ideas, the guy starts walking towards us,
Oh, okay.
and he's like still like yelling random ass words. He's still like coughing, all this stuff. And as he gets approached to us, thank God he didn't actually come up to us directly. He swerves right, and then goes to another group of people and starts starts barking at them instead. And we can immediately tell like those guys who are getting like coughed on, essentially they looked at us, they had like looks of like fear in their eyes. They're like, this is something bad's gonna happen here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the first thing I immediately told my brother once we had the opportunity to uh like he was away from the car, I told my brother this. I said, Peter, go get the car right now, drive around the corner and then drive down the street. I'll get the food, just don't worry about me. And he's like, okay, I got you. He goes to the car, drives away, and I swear to God, bro, he doesn't come back for another 10 minutes. It felt that way, I swear to God. Because I'm like, okay, he goes down the street. You would expect him to go like down the street, turn left, and then come around, right?
Yeah.
He goes down the street, turns left, and then I'm like, where did this fucker go? The food comes here, I'm holding this shit, and I'm like, great. My fucking older brother just left me to dead here. I'm like, fuck this guy. It felt so long, but eventually he came back down this. I don't know, he maybe got lost or some shit, but he came back
LA
down.
traffic.
Yeah, at night, um, on a side street, and he's like,
Yeah.
he pulls over to the side. I get in the car quickly, and we just drive off that night. And I'm like, thank God we did not get robbed.
Yeah. Didn't get destroyed by a random homeless person who potentially sounds like he was on drugs.
Yeah, my brother legit said he definitely seemed to be on like bath salts or something, and I'm like, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
but the funny shit is that he was telling me that if it was him and his husband, in that scenario, they would be like uber fucked.
Yeah, you at least have street smarts. Seems like enough to know how to out reallocate who to get the car. You know.
But I was so scared. I was like, oh my God. I'm pretty sure he came back faster than like 10 minutes, but I sort of got it. I was so scared. I was like,
Yeah.
I do not want to fight this guy right now. Like, he's twice my size, and I don't want to get, he probably has like, he has like crackhead powers right now. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Thank God he came back. If he didn't, I don't think I would be here today, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, you'd be standing there, sharing his dessert with the random crack
Oh my
dude.
God, man. I would be like, listen, just take both of it. I don't give a fuck. I just like, leave me
Like,
alone.
look, man. Yeah, honestly, I don't want anything to do with this. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's the thing. Like, you're pretty good with this stuff. You and I both know I am not.
Oh my God, Eric is so crazy with like with people on the street. He's so good. He's so friendly and he's super nice. But fuck, man.
I'm so awkward with eye contact that like I hate just completely ignoring people. I know it's what you like kind of have to do. Unfortunately, it's just part of urban living in the US is that like if you go to a city, there's a lot of homeless people. I am so like bad at it where I'll just like I'll hear somebody talk in my direction and I'll look and I'll make eye contact. I just can't like mentally ignore it and then I'm like, "Oh fuck. I've made the mistake."
He locks eyes with the other person, and I'm like, damn, Eric, you really are out here like giving them the respect they deserve, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, oh no.
it
It's like I don't know. It's a tough world and I feel for them, but also there's only so much. There's not something you can do. I'm just going to go grab chicken with my friends and then go back to their apartment.
I respect that. This is what I love about Eric. Like, he's super nice. He's very respectful. He is like for my opinion, like a really good person.
I appreciate that.
It'd just be really nice if you don't do that to people who could possibly stab us on drugs. Like, it'd be really cool, just not to let them bring back to almost JC's apartment where they could rob us after, I'm just saying, we had to go
Yeah.
to an alleyway, bro.
Yeah, we basically had to walk through an alley. Uh, that's at least I found $5 on the ground on that same day, so I guess I'm lucky.
It paid for the train fare.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
you know, good taking the drug. a give and take world.
No, I don't know. I love traveling because you can get into these like wacky adventures. I feel like if you don't go somewhere and something bad doesn't happen, I think it's a bad trip. I think like what
Well,
makes
that's like
these,
your whole philosophy.
yeah, I'm a big person. I'm a big fan of the idea of bad choices make good stories. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you gotta have something to talk about after your trip. If it's just like you visit family, you know, you get some good food, that's fine. It's a nice trip. But to make a good trip, you know, a memorable trip, you gotta let something crazy happen. You know.
Yeah, shit's got to go down for sure. What is the craziest thing that's happened to you on any trip?
Oh, in the Philippines. Okay, I don't remember this specifically because I was too young. But apparently, according to my parents, I got like semi abducted. No, abducted in the Philippines.
Mm,
I was like,
go on.
maybe in elementary or some shit, and I was just like playing outside of my family's like house. We were visiting like relatives or some shit. Maybe it was like for a holiday, um, but according to my parents, I got like taken away by the street kids. They like asked me to call in with them. I played with them. We went to their schoolyard, and from morning till like the late hours, I was like missing the entire day. My parents had no idea where the fuck I was. I was just like roaming the streets of the Philippines with these like random ass kids. I don't even speak Tagalog, you know? Like at this, like I was born in the Philippines, moved to America when I was like not even a year old, and I've only like remember like speaking English. Okay, so I'm just like playing around with these kids just randomly, and it takes almost an entire day for my mom and dad to find out where I was. I was like
That's gotta come out.
I could have like I was legit like gonna be one of them at the end. Like if they didn't find me, I would have still been in the Philippines.
Yeah, you would have been like adopted into some family
Yeah, they'll be like, I
for
don't know
like
where this.
not speaking the language.
He looks like one of us. I mean, he probably is one of us. I'm like, okay, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Like apparently I was so like had no concern for my own safety such that I just went around with anyone. Like I got on a motorcycle with some random ass dude. He gave me a helmet. I'm like, bet, let's drive around. We I saw some kids like put a nail through like a piece of 2x4 and then put it on the street sticking out. And I'm like, okay, kind of cool. Um, yeah, Philippines is kind of cracked.
I mean, mad respect. I mean, they may have killed somebody by accident, or intentionally by the sounds of it, but but more power to you, I guess. How old was this? You were how old again?
I was like elementary, maybe third,
So
fourth grade.
presumably they were like similar age.
Yeah, yeah. These kids, they saw another person that looked like them, never like before. They're like, you know what? Let's induct him into our group, and I'm like, bet. Let's play some basketball. And then I don't know. I just remember, um, nothing at all. Actually, to be honest, like this is like retellings from my parents. But the thing is, I believe them, and the reason I believe them is because I honestly feel like I would still do to this day.
Yeah. I mean, it seems very in line with you. I mean, that's the thing. Like, as soon as you said the like, oh yeah, better, you know, you need to have like you need to do some dumb stuff to get a story. I'm like, yeah, that is your entire philosophy of life. I feel like, or along the lines of it, it's just like if there's a opportunity to do something stupid, or that will give you a story, or something smart that won't. There's so as long as it's not too dangerous, you'll usually pick the former.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah, you're like, fuck it. I mean, it'll be it's something to say, something to talk about. It's an experience. I respect that. I respect that. That's a mindset. I want to incorporate to some degree, but it's a tricky mindset.
It's definitely hard. Like, I mean, you can probably see this in the way I play League. I'm like, just fuck it, just like go for it, bro. Like, you gotta let it rip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if you're talking about like League, it's no biggie. It's just a game.
But when you're
If you're
out in the
talking
real
about
world and you have to deal with actual people, it's a little harder.
yeah, if your choices are like the like between two restaurants and one of them is like fucking bog standard, like, oh, it looks like a decent 4.5 star restaurant, or like a hole in the wall that doesn't seem to have a sign at all, and then there's like one-eyed Willie in there just like making you raw fish, and that's gonna be your story or something.
Dude,
Like, I don't know which one I'd
take the
pick.
hole in the wall, bro. Listen, that's culture right there. There's history
Yeah,
behind between that store. Okay, listen,
yeah, man. Welcome
fuck the
to
bougie
Detroit.
4 star. Yeah, fuck the bougie 4 star restaurant. Okay, you gotta look for these like these local spots. Okay, only locals will know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just yeah, but I mad respect. Um, yeah, I think what's it called? The story that uh that's the parallel for me is on that same road trip I was talking about, where we did that big loop around the Midwest and East Coast. We were drove around for a couple. We did a road trip for a couple weeks. But we visited family. I'm not gonna say it's in Mississippi. I'm not gonna say any more details just because the location is right next to my family member's house.
I see. Okay.
um, so we were driving in. We'd been driving for several hours on highways and stuff. It's in Mississippi. Mississippi is Mississippi. It's not. It's like the state that's in the bottom five on almost every metric in the U.S. um, but what's it called? Uh, we we're following Google Maps and we're approaching the place. We're like a half an hour from there, and Google Maps tells us to like turn off of the highway onto this like asphalt or not asphalt. Yeah, I guess asphalt side street basically. Kind of standard side street. We're like, cool. So we're must be approaching it, right? We're getting to like more local area, still in the middle of nowhere for the most part. And then that road turns to gravel,
Okay.
and then that road turns to dirt, and then that road turns to dirt tire tracks, and we enter a forest.
Okay.
And we're like, what the hell? Like, is this where we're supposed to be? But we look at Google Maps and there's like roads. It's labeled. These are roads that Google Maps has labeled. This is like late at night for the record. And so we're driving in this area just like 15, 10 miles per hour in this random woods. And we're like, what is this? Why didn't she tell us that you have to go through the woods to get here? Like what is this? And we keep driving. It's like 10 minutes. We're getting over like bumps and everything. We're looking around. It's like eerie atmosphere. We're all kind of like mildly freaked out. Like, what the hell? Why? What is this? We get there like 15 minutes in. We're all surprised to see a stop sign in the middle of this random dirt road on the forest. And we're like, what is this? What is this whole experience? And we turn off, and eventually, after driving through this, like what we later found out is like a national forest.
Oh, okay.
It's just a random national forest that somehow Google Maps has perfectly mapped and told us exactly how to get through on dirt road, tire track roads. We get back to like gravel, back to dirt, back to gravel, and then back to asphalt, and then we see the house and we turn in and we get there and we're like, what the hell is where do you live? To my aunt.
You had
Like,
to
what
like go
is
through the entire
this?
portal or some shit.
Like, yeah, why didn't you tell us about this? Like my mom was pretty like somewhat freaked out. We were all laughing hysterically because we were like in the middle of like, this is so absurd and also kind of freaky.
Your aunt's place sounds like a witch's hut, like out in the bayou. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's a giant. It's like middle of nowhere, like rural Mississippi. I mean it's not middle of nowhere. There's like a town, but it's like a Mississippi town
Is there a
in
Walmart?
the middle. It's by Oxford, Mississippi. So it's
Okay.
like there's a university there and stuff. It's like the most. I think it's. I don't know much about Mississippi other than that it's like on my list of states that aren't like the best in my
It's
head.
a place I wouldn't go
Um,
to.
yeah, yeah. But in terms of like cities, I think Oxford is probably one of the larger ones on there.
Hmm.
But anyway, and she says to us like, "Why didn't you just take the highway? Why didn't you go around?" And we were like, What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, like step outside and look across the street. That's the highway." And we're like, "What?" Well, we were just directed by Google to go through here, and it was like, "Google's stupid." I've
Someone's
never. It's like she was like, "Where did you guys even come from?" I was like, "We were like, we turned. Have you ever turned right from your house?" And she's like, "No, I've
we
never
don't.
turned
She's like,
right
we don't
from
go
my
there. We
house."
don't go there.
Like she didn't realize there was a dirt roads national forest thing to the right of her house.
Someone had
It was so
whoever had
stuffed.
Google Maps open definitely had avoid highways on the as one of the setting options.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was, and it would have been faster too. It was like, but that was such an experience. I think it'll always be like a visceral inside joke with my family of just like the when we had been traveling for a good like 15 20 minutes on this dirt road in the middle of the darkness in the woods, like just be like, what the hell? To see a stop sign, we all just yelled out loud, "Is that a stop sign? That's a stop sign. There's a stop sign."
Some
So
form of
funny.
civilization is here.
Yeah, we're like, a stop sign. It's red and white. It says stop.
Everyone's freaking the fuck out.
It was so funny. But yeah, that's on the list of like the most like unexpected what the fuck random things that happened while we were traveling.
I like how your mom is like freaking the fuck out. Because my mom's the same way. She hates when we would take like back road like options. If there's no street lights or street lamps, she doesn't want to go down it. Even if it's like 2 hours faster. Even if that's like it doesn't matter how quick it is. Like if it's dark, she doesn't want to go.
Ah, that'll do it. Yeah, that'll keep you away from the national forest at least.
Yeah. But I'm like, but the weird thing is, like, obviously she likes doing it during the day. But the funny shit is, like, she starts panicking when, like, the sun's setting. She's like, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. I'm like, it's just drive on the
Oh,
road. Just like, nothing's gonna bad's gonna happen. I say that, and that's probably one of the worst things I have a bad habit of. When I like tell friends or like, they say like I say like we should do this plan or they want to do something, and I tell them just do it, and they're like, I don't know about it. I usually say it's like, what's the worst that could happen? Um, and I had a friend, you remember Tina from high school?
yeah, yeah.
I would say this to her every single time because she would be so like um second guessing about or second guessing about herself. And to like just do what's the worst that could happen. And every single fucking time I say it, she freaks out. One point, she snapped at me. She's like, "Can you stop saying that? Like something bad could happen, okay?" And I'm like, "Okay." But nothing has so far with any of our plans, so let's just do it.
That is very in line with Tina, if I know her, and I've so she was a childhood friend of mine because my sister was close friends, and we became close friends as like twins, um, uh, in elementary school. It's just knowing her that is so in line.
It's mad funny. Like she hated me for it.
It's so funny. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Thanks for listening to the Out of Lane podcast. I'm your co-host Avery,
And I'm your other co-host Eric.
and we can't wait to show you guys our next video. But
But
for
for now,
now, we're
we're
headed
headed
back
back
to
to
Lane.
Lynn.